For the second time in 5 years, the East Regional has come to Manchester and St. Ansem College. We welcome you inside Stoutenburg Gymnasium for coverage of the NCAA Division II East Regional, powered by Bridgewater Television. We open things up with the 3-6 matchup featuring the Southern New Hampshire University Penmen taking on the St. Thomas Aquinas College Spartans. Welcome courtside along with Chris Granozio. I'm Ben Alcher. The third member of our team, Nick Anastos, will join us in just a little bit. Well, Chris, it's a great way to start the regional. You've got the Northeast 10 regular season champion Penmen taking on the automatic bid from the East Coast Conference, courtesy of the tournament champions, St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, St. Thomas Aquinas, no stranger to this venue and to this part of the season. 8 straight times they've been to the NCAA tournament. That's the longest stretch of any current participant for the Southern New Hampshire Penmen. It's been a few years since they've been here, but they're no stranger to this as well. They've won 7 regionals in their grand history.
You know, Southern New Hampshire hoping that this will be magic number 8. Meanwhile, St. Thomas Aquinas comes in most wins of any team in the region with 26. You mentioned they've had great recent history in the tournament, but they've got a lot of new faces in new places this year, including the head coach, Matt Capel.
Matt Capel was a longtime assistant under Tobin Anderson, who took the job at Fairleigh Dickinson University last summer. Had a great year. He's going to be going dancing for the Division I tournament, and then for what he's got coming in this year, 4 new faces in the starting lineup. The only returning starter is Antonio Vendola, a very good shooter. So he's had to really recreate the roster on the fly and change the culture a little bit, although it's still a winning culture. And for Southern New Hampshire, yeah, they lost some players too, 3 starters, as they've also had to do it under Jack Perry. So it's going to be an interesting first meeting in the postseason between these two teams, as they've only met 3 times before total.
Well, let's take a look at some of our players to watch here for our opener. First of 4 games today here from Manchester. For St. Thomas Aquinas, this Spartans team has not just rebuilt, but they have reloaded very quickly, and they've got a very great freshman in James Patterson.
He was freshman of the year in the East Coast Conference, a tall, dynamic player who can sky for rebounds, can score from just about anywhere, and he is certainly one of the catalysts for this team.
And when you talk about Southern New Hampshire, a 20-win season, they've got some excellent players back from last year's group that fell just short of the tournament, and Matt Becht has really become a star player for them.
He's one of the top 3 shooters in the country, shoots it at almost 50% from three-point range, dangerous. You have to keep an eye on him no matter where he is on the court. He can also put it on the floor and score inside, but he is a deadly threat.
Very interesting 8-team regional when you take a look at the whole bracket. You've got 5 teams representing the Northeast 10, and they also represent the top 5 seeds. St. Thomas Aquinas, the lone representative out of the East Coast Conference, there at number 6, and then the 2 representatives from the Central Atlantic Collegiate Conference. The auto bid winner, Caldwell, is the 8th seed, and Dominican grabbing that final at-large spot at number 7.
Yeah, Dominican, we'll talk about them more in game number 2 today, but very fortunate to be in this field because it was between them and Damon for the last spot for an at-large, and the committee couldn't decide. It went to the national committee. They were split. They had to go deep into the night to pick Dominican to make this field. We'll talk about that more later.
Certainly always tough on the committee when you get to tournament selection time. Only 8 teams in the region can make it. These are those 8. We'll see who survives the weekend and gets to Sweet 16 Tuesday, and eventually who will move on to the Elite 8 in Evansville, Indiana, coming up in just a couple weeks. Getting ready to tip things off here from Manchester. It's Southern New Hampshire and St. Thomas Aquinas, the 3-6 matchup. And we will get you down to our PA announcer, Drew Litz, in just a moment for the starting lineups.
First for St. Thomas Aquinas. At forward, a 6'7" freshman from Richmond, Virginia, number 0, James Patterson. For Southern New Hampshire, at guard, a 6'4" sophomore from Springfield, Missouri, number 0, Ethan Gilroy. For the Spartans, at guard, a 5'8" junior from Dorchester, Massachusetts, number 1, Devontae Jameson. For the Penmen, at guard, a 6'3" sophomore from North Haven, Connecticut, number 1, Ethan Okwuosa. At guard for the Spartans, a 6-foot senior from Fernando Beach, Florida, number 3, Antonio Vendola. For the Penmen, at forward, a 6'7" graduate student from Wrentham, Massachusetts, number 2, Ryan Lehman. For the Spartans, at forward, a 6'8" freshman from Hagerstown, Maryland, number 10, Jordan Green. For the Penmen, at guard, a 6'4" junior from Vienna, Virginia, number 3, Matt Becht. And for the Spartans, at guard, a 6'4" junior from Temple Hills, Maryland, number 21, Jamal Barnes. Head coach, Matthew Capel. And finally, for the Penmen, at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Silver Springs, Maryland, number 24, Jordan Braithwaite. Head coach, Jack Perry.
You get a look at the starting lineup for St. Thomas Aquinas, headlined by the freshman James Patterson. It's a fairly young lineup, 2 freshman starters. Jordan Green, the center from Hagerstown, Maryland, is the other one. And then, of course, you've got the first-year head coach in Matt Capel on the sidelines. 26-4 in his first year, taking over the head job from his mentor, Tobin Anderson. He won the ECC Coach of the Year award as well. On the other side, Southern New Hampshire, a little bit more veteran group, a couple sophomores. Evan Guillory, a transfer from Vermont, and Ethan Aquosa, a fellow sophomore in the starting lineup, and then Ryan Lehman, Matt Becht, and Jordan Braithwaite. And the head coach, Jack Perry, now in his 5th year across town at Southern New Hampshire. He was the Northeast 10 Coach of the Year this season, getting the Penmen back into the NCAA tournament. So you've got a little bit of an interesting dichotomy here, Chris, with the two teams. Southern New Hampshire has a little bit more veteran experience in terms of the age and experience of the players, but when it comes to NCAA tournament experience, St. Thomas Aquinas sort of has that built-in culture of not only getting to this level, but also winning games.
Yeah, they made it all the way to the Sweet 16 back in 2019 against St. Anselm right on this floor. And yeah, you're right. And also the thing we haven't really discussed yet is St. Thomas Aquinas lives and dies with its pressure defense, especially after made baskets, and we'll see if that'll play a factor, because Southern New Hampshire has not seen a defense like that all year.
Early drive by Patterson, left short. Southern New Hampshire wearing the home whites. St. Thomas Aquinas, the lower-seeded team in the road black jerseys. First touch here for Braithwaite. Here's Guillory, the Vermont transfer. Into the low post, Vendola, solid defender down there. Rising deep 2 is good. Guillory on the board, and so is Southern New Hampshire.
Stack comes out in man defensively, and Guillory with a good angle jumper.
Penmen hoping to get their offense going. They had their 2 lowest scoring outputs of the season in their 2 playoff games. 58 in a win over Franklin Pierce, and then scored just 42 in an NE10 semifinal loss to New Haven. Devontae Jameson, a 3-pointer with the answer, and the Spartans grab their first lead, and here comes the press.
Yeah, this is very effective. A lot of 2-1-2 trapping, and they're very good at getting steals. They forced the 3rd most steals in the region.
Penmen do get it across just in time. Ryan Lehman sets the high ball screen, gets it fed back, moved over to Becht, fakes the 3, takes the 3, and buries the 3.
And again, if you give him any kind of space, he's going to knock that down like a layup. He's one of the premier shooters in the country at Division II.
47% from behind the arc on the year, 2nd best in the NE10 this season. Already 90 seconds gone. Southern New Hampshire, the early 5-3 lead. Vendola to answer. That one short, and a rebound snatched up by Braithwaite.
And Vendola has the green light to take that shot anytime he likes. He's a very good 3-point shooter himself.
Quick little give and go. Becht again. Pulls up from the elbow this time and rattles another one through.
Well, Becht doesn't look like he's got any jitters in his first NCAA tournament game. Started his career at Division I Mount St. Mary's in his second year now with the Penmen.
Smooth looking jumper on the first two for Becht. He's got 5 of the 7 Penmen points. Jamison behind the screen, nice behind the back dribble, but good defense from Guillory, stayed in front. Vendola drives, lost the handle for a minute, has to float it back out. 10 to shoot for Jamison. Quick little start and stop, nice inside out move, the left hand scoop rolls out. Great job by Jamison to create the shot, but it would not fall.
Jamison, the most deadly player on either side, off the dribble, very quick steps to the basket, but that time just left it short.
Pull up 3, too strong. Rebound, tipped, kept alive, but then Lehman lost it out of bounds. And close off the mark on that 3. Going to be interesting to see how each of these teams sort of approaches these first 5-10 minutes. Again, St. Thomas Aquinas has a little bit more experience in the NCAA tournament, but Southern New Hampshire, a veteran group of players, and you know they want to make their impact felt after a good regular season. Vendola missed the angle, tipped up and in by Jordan Green.
And one thing we should mention too is St. Thomas Aquinas, the #1 team in the nation in offensive rebounds. And we just saw right there why that is a major weapon in their arsenal.
Yeah, they rank in the top 20 in a lot of NCAA categories. They got a foul called away from the ball. Patterson going to be whistled for it. He's a little bit slow to get up, but appears none the worse for wear.
First foul of the ball game, and again, it's caused by the helter-skelter defense of St. Thomas Aquinas. They're going to want to control tempo today. It's all about pace with them and forcing you into playing much more rapidly than you like.
We're talking about the number of categories, the Spartans are near the top of the nation in. Tops you mentioned in offensive rebounding, 7th in total rebounds per game. 13th best scoring team in the nation. They're also 8th best in turnover margin, which speaks to the effectiveness of the press. Brathwaite almost drilled Jamison on that rebound. Quick pull-up 3, Barnes, yes.
And he's one of the top three-point shooters collectively in the nation, number 6th in most threes made, over 90 now this year.
41% from behind the arc. Lehman has to come back and help out against the press. Barnes 3 gives St. Thomas Aquinas the lead back. Nearly picked off in the backcourt. Vendola just a little over-aggressive there as he tried to poke it away from Aquosa.
But what Stack is doing right now is letting them know, letting Southern New Hampshire know, hey, we're right in your grill. We're going to be out trying to contest and steal the ball every chance we get. And if they pick up some fouls along the way, that's fine. They got a deep bench.
And here comes that deep bench in action right away. Kyle Pulliam, a freshman from Maryland, checks in for the first time.
He's an athletic, very good scorer off the bench for Matt Capel's team.
3-time ECC Rookie of the Week all late in the season, so that tells you he got better as the year went along. Aquosa sort of the de facto point guard on this Southern New Hampshire team. There's really nobody in the starting group who you would call a definitive point guard. And I'm sure that's where Stack will look to cause the havoc with the press. Going into contact that time is Guillory. He'll earn a trip to the line. That's already going to be the 3rd team foul on St. Thomas Aquinas. It'll be on Jamal Barnes, and it will get us to our first timeout of the day. 15:47 to go in the opening half. St. Thomas Aquinas 8, Southern New Hampshire 7. Back in a moment here from Manchester.
So we don't have any kind of
Cool, this is for you.
I ended up spending less money my entire time at SNHU than I did in just 1 year at my other university.
My time at SNHU has given me more confidence.
Now I can go for that promotion.
If you're ready to go back to school, you can do it. Southern New Hampshire University has changed my life, and it can change yours too.
Visit snhu.edu.
Welcome back here to Manchester. Early lead for the Spartans. Let's send it down to the 3rd member of our team on the sideline, Nick Anastos.
Thank you, Ben. Both teams getting familiar with this gymnasium and this environment yesterday at the shoot-around. Southern New Hampshire, of course, wanted to get a feel for being back in this gym after not playing here. The lone meeting, of course, was on their home floor, so they had an early 15-20 minute shoot around just to get reacclimated with Stoutenburg yesterday. They went back, took a couple of hours off, and then had a normal practice back on their home floor in the mid-afternoon. Of course, as we know, St. Thomas, they've played here before, including in this spot in the NCAA tournament 4 years ago. So both teams should be pretty familiar with these baskets here in this gym, Ben.
Thank you very much, Nick. Yeah, St. Thomas Aquinas, a Sweet 16 participant. Last time the regional was held here in Stoutenburg Gymnasium. Ended up bowing out to the Hawks in the regional final that year as Evan Guillory hits the first free throw. I thought that was interesting that Southern New Hampshire actually, made the 10-15 minute drive over here to the west side of Manchester to just feel out the gym a little bit. New look schedule in the Northeast 10 this year, unbalanced. So there was only one regular season meeting between the two Manchester schools, and it took place in Stan Spiro Court. And one chance for Devontae Jamison.
Well, we talked about his speed, and there it was again in full motion. See how he penetrates into the lane, and you have very little time to react to it, and that time it was a foul as well as the hoop, and Jamison exploiting the defense.
First foul called on the Penn men. It's on the sophomore Guillory. Jamison was recently named the tournament MVP of the East Coast Conference, helping St. Thomas Aquinas pass Damon in the tournament final.
Third straight year they met Damon in the championship game.
It has become one of the great rivalries in the region in the East Coast Conference. Spartans and the Wildcats. Opposite sides of the state of New York, but they get together pretty frequently. Three-pointer is good. Brathwaite, not really known as a bomber, but he gets one there, and Southern New Hampshire back even, 11 apiece.
He did have a game earlier this year that I did see where he had 7 three-point makes against New Haven at home.
Brathwaite with a big block on the other end on Pulliam. Stop and start drive. Guillory switches to the right hand and scores.
Guillory using his athleticism and going laterally on the baseline, using the rim to protect the shot.
We've already seen a variety of moves from the D1 transfer. Brathwaite with a steal, wants the run out. The big man stripped by Jamison. Check that, stripped by Richard Smith. Just into the game, Barnes pulls the trigger, shot blocked. Smith climbs the ladder, missed the layup, tip won't go. Rebound batted around, eventually secured by Lehman.
Well, the Penman dodged a bullet there after getting the ball stripped. 3 shot attempts from inside the paint. None of them go down for Stack.
How about Richard Smith wasting no time getting involved? The freshman from the Bronx flying all over the place. Backdoor cut, Lehman missed it. Falling to the floor was Smith to get the rebound, but nobody pressuring him, so he's able to get it away to a teammate.
Smith's been playing more and more minutes off the bench for Matt Capel's team. Played really well, kind of unheralded role in the East Coast Conference semis and championship.
Hook shot, Risquez won't go. Barnes tips it out. They'll reset around to Jamison. Still plenty of time, 15 on the shot clock. Jamison has Guillory in front of him. Tries to back him down. Step back jumper won't go. And Brathwaite will track down the rebound.
Brathwaite's so long and athletic and just a tremendous player, and starting to feel it right now on both ends of the floor.
3 points, 3 rebounds already for the sophomore. Here's Becht, hit his first 2 shots, looking for another, has to give it up. Guillory on the baseline, slips it in. Lehman crashing to the rim for 2.
And that was a tough corral and finish for Lehman. He was sandwiched by 2 defenders in the lane, but just instinctively put it up and in.
Just sort of hugged it to the bicep and spun it up on the rim. Penman with a little mini run to go in front here. Floater Barnes way off the mark there. He's looking for a foul that never came.
Yeah, and they're not going to blow the whistle if you look like you're settling for a jumper or off balance like that. Very good defense by Southern New Hampshire.
Quick hands again. Jamison nearly poked that one away from Aquosa. Back to deep 3. Cash!
And that was behind a screen and far away, as you said. And when Matt Becht is feeling it, it's normally doomed for the other team.
10-0 run for Southern New Hampshire as they grab a 7-point lead. First gut check moment of the game for the Spartans. Risquez, backdoor cut, Pulliam in traffic, can't finish, got his own miss. In a sea of white, Pulliam finds a teammate, and Smith is fouled going up.
Again, Stack doing what it does best, crashing the offensive glass. They may not be shooting at a high percentage, but they're getting a ton of opportunities here. As we see Pulliam getting the second opportunity. And then in a crowd, Smith is fouled on the go up.
And to your point, Chris, that's already 5 offensive rebounds for the Spartans here in the first 7.5 minutes.
They average over 16 a game. Again, tops in Division II.
Smith at the line has had a tough year, gets the bounce there. 39% free throw shooter on the season.
Yeah, he made a couple last weekend, though, so he maybe he's starting to round into better form. But, yeah, that 38% number amongst the worst in the country.
First changes from the Southern New Hampshire sideline. Sam Cody checking in.
Richard Smith, by the way, is the only New Yorker on the St. Thomas Aquinas roster, which is unusual because they're located in New York State and obviously just about a half hour north of New York City. He's from the Bronx.
Always nice to have an expanded recruiting base. Smith
Yes.
makes both free throws, so to your point, he's rounding into form a little bit at the line. Here's Sam Cody, the Manchester, New Hampshire native, waiting for his hometown college. Becht, quick pull-up 3, little off balance, and the shot is off. Brathwaite missed the tip, got his own miss. Tied up by Jamison, and that'll get us a jump ball. Arrow favors Southern New Hampshire.
Yeah, Jamison giving him about 8 inches there, but still pesky and fighting for every loose ball. Terrific job that time. And Becht, a little bit of a rush on that three-pointer, but he was feeling it, so can't fault him for putting it up.
Cody, the quick inbound to Derek Grant, gets the return pass. He is more of that true point guard mold, as is Noah Kamba, who's in the game with him now. So Penman with a few more ball handlers on the floor, but Jamison picks off the pass intended for Becht, goes back the other way, missed the layup, but was crushed to the ground by Brathwaite. That'll be the first foul on Brathwaite, the third team foul on Southern New Hampshire. And as we wait to confirm, that will get us to a timeout as well. 12 minutes left to go here in the first half. We'll keep it here for this one. Southern New Hampshire in front 18-13 on the strength of that 10-0 run after they got down by 3, and now we're starting to see the St. Thomas Aquinas response.
Yeah, and Jamison is right front and center. Again, he is the quarterback that leads this team, and he learned this role as a backup the last couple of years to Dimitri Roberts, who was an all-world player who's now playing Division I and playing in the NCAA tournament for Tobin Anderson over at Fairleigh Dickinson University. He was one of 3 players plucked off this roster, now playing for Tobin Anderson. And, of course, Matt Capel loses those 3 players and a top recruit, and they still are here with 26 wins and making it to the NCAA tournament. Just goes to show you what a great pipeline to talent that this program has.
That really speaks to the culture that the Spartans have built over the last several years. Let's take a look at sort of the resume of both teams coming into the regional. Southern New Hampshire finished the year 20-8 overall, 16-4, regular season champions in the Northeast 10. Obviously got the great year from Matt Becht, shooting the basketball, averaging over 15 points per game. And Jack Perry, his best year on the sidelines as a head coach, and was rightly awarded the NE10 Coach of the Year.
Yeah, it was a slam dunk pick, and he, of course, played under Jay Lawson at Bentley University, back then Bentley College, and they're, of course, in the field as well. So a good NE10 story there as he's played for and coached 2 different programs. 18th
NCAA tournament appearance overall for the Penmen, looking for their 8th trip to the Elite 8 this season. Last time they did that, 2015. Jamison at the line, leading the way for the Spartans with 7 early points. Already filling up the box score, a couple rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Jamison knocks down the second as well. So that trims the Penmen lead back to 3. It has been, for the most part, a tight first half. 5-second violation. Kamba never quite got it in. He needed maybe another half second there.
And again, St. Thomas Aquinas with that ferocious press after made baskets and free throws, and very difficult if you're not used to seeing that to get the ball in.
Here's Pulliam handing it off for Smith. Bench group has been pretty effective so far for St. Thomas Aquinas. Patterson's been kind of quiet. Backs his way in on Brathwaite. Throws one up and scores. Just as we say he hasn't been effective, he gets on the board with a wild finish.
Yeah, he was expecting contact that time and lucky that the ball went in. And that's 6 straight for Stack after allowing 10 straight to the Penmen.
Nearly got another turnover as well, but Becht was able to pass out of the trap. Cody in traffic finds Kamba in the corner for 3. Too much. Ended up being an air ball. Jamison on the push, looking to give the Spartans back the lead. Turns the corner. Looked for a handoff, nobody there. Patterson open, short on the 3 ball, and it's snatched up by Derek Grant.
Grant with a good box out on Luis Risquez, one of the top reserves for the Spartans.
And only 2 starters on the floor right now for St. Thomas Aquinas.
And they're about to go deeper as we see another player head out to the bench and a turnover.
A little shuffle there by Grant, and Jack Perry's not going to waste any time. He's going to get his starting group back on the floor. Quosa, Guillory, and Lehman all return. It was something I talked to Coach Perry about yesterday. He said, you know, part of the big change for Southern New Hampshire after a 4-6 start to the regular season was the fact that he tightened the rotation a little bit and started to play a little bit slower of a tempo than what he has been used to coaching in the past.
Also had a very strong heart-to-heart with his team around Christmas time, and they turned it around in a big way.
Patterson, another great finish. Boy, he makes the tough shots look easy.
He is such a talented player, and hard to believe he's a freshman sometimes when you watch him. And 8 unanswered for the Spartans to go back on top.
And this is exactly what you expect come tourney time, right? 10-0 run, answered with an 8-0 run. Lehman into the corner. Cody fakes the 3. Gives it up, Aquosa. They swing it around. Guillory. He's been the hot hand early. Almost lost the handle there. Had to dribble it back out. Now he's got 10 to shoot. Guillory on the drive. Through Patterson. And it's going to be an offensive foul. And that is number 2 on Evan Guillory. So this is going to be the first real big decision for Jack Perry. And he's going to go to the bench.
Yeah, Grant's going to come back in, and it's a smart move here because Guillory is such an important piece to this team, and you want him not picking up a possible 3rd foul in the first half and sidelining him for a good chunk of the game. Now he'll sit. Maybe if there's a spot late in the half, you might insert him a little bit, and he can play a little cautiously.
Still a long ways left to go here in this first half. Here's Vasilis Tullius. Floats one up with the right hand and scores. So right into the game, the junior from Greece gets on the board, and it'll lead to a timeout from Southern New Hampshire. 32nd timeout for the Penmen. 9:51 to go in the first. 10-0 run Southern New Hampshire, 10-0 run St. Thomas Aquinas, and the Spartans have restored their 3-point lead.
Yeah, anything you can do, I can do better, right? It's what you talked about in March. That you're getting really, really good programs here, and maybe in the regular season, these teams, after unleashing a 10-0 run, probably it's lights out for the opponent if you're playing a lesser opponent. In this atmosphere, they're just going to shake it off and answer. And you're going to see a lot of answers the rest of the day, I think, between these 2 clubs.
First meeting between Southern New Hampshire and St. Thomas Aquinas since the 2016-17 season. That was a 104-90 victory for St. Thomas Aquinas at home.
Yeah, an unusual non-conference matchup in late January.
Probably going to start to see some more of those, especially with the Northeast 10, at least for the moment, down to 13 teams in that unbalanced schedule. That's going to lead teams to have buys later in the year, maybe an opportunity to squeak in a non-conference game if it fits. Of course, travel and weather always pending, especially come winter in the Northeast. 3-pointer is good for Kamba. He silences the 10-0 stack run, and we're back even at 21.
Kamba started 6 games earlier in the year, and Jack Perry, one of the things that he changed was putting him on the bench, and it's been effective for them.
Patterson unable to answer with a 3 of his own. So we'll see if run begets run begets run. Kamba sees Patterson in front and decides to turn it away. Aquosa took a bump, kept on going. To Lehman, has a clear lane, drives and kicks, open in the corner. Kamba again, got another one.
The Kamba combination, 6 straight points from the reserve, and all of a sudden it's Snoo by 3.
And Vendola this time has the answer. 40% from behind the arc for the Florida native. And we're tied again, 24-24.
Boy, the triples are flying here in Manchester. 8 already in the first 11 and a half minutes. 5 for Southern New Hampshire.
5 for 8 from the field. Very good start from distance for the Penmen. And here's Becht. We know he can fill it up. Fadeaway 2. That's good.
Well, he looks like he could make that shot in his sleep, and it's not an easy shot, but an amazing shooter, and Snoo back on top.
Becht is sharp early on. 4 for his first 6. He's already in double figures. Here's Patterson. fighting his way into the paint again. No foul, missed the shot, and then you're going to get a whistle on Patterson. He was just laying on the floor. Derek Grant kind of stepped on him.
I think he might have put the foot out, but you can see here he's trying to split defenders and make something happen that's just not there, and he's not going to be bailed out in the NCAA tournament by a foul call here. And let's see where the foul is called.
They just saw a good look on the replay there. Nice work by our camera crew. Patterson just sort of reached up and clipped the heel.
Yeah.
So it is number 2 on Patterson, and it will get us to another timeout. Southern New Hampshire in front 26-24 here for the East Regional.
You get to make a lot of different choices and become a leader, and that's what Stack has definitely helped me to do.
The environment here really helped me to develop my character, my confidence, my individuality.
The college has been very supportive as a student and athlete. We play on a field that minor league professional baseball players play at. It's incredible.
In classes, Stack really encourages students to work together and grow together.
There's an opportunity for everybody here.
Stack is a great school. Everybody should come.
Welcome back to Stoutenburg Gymnasium on the campus of St. Anselm College. Coverage of the NCAA Division II Men's Basketball East Regional, powered by Bridgewater Television. 3-seed Southern New Hampshire, 6-seed St. Thomas Aquinas exchanging runs here in the first half. Right now it's the Penmen by 2, and this last foul on James Patterson looks like it's going to official review. Originally just ruled a common foul, but as you'll see, Patterson down on the ground actually reaches up and grabs the foot here of Derek Grant.
Yeah, that could be unintentional, so it'll be determined by the crew at the table. Our officials today are Chris Brown, Sutton Simon, and Alex Landis, with Marty Herrick, the alternate, at the table. You get a look at right there behind the monitor. Looking at the shooting numbers in this game, 63% for the Penmen, just 36% for Stack. Why is Stack still in the game? Offensive rebounds and forced turnovers, and that's their MO.
So there's a discussion still going on.
It's a tough judgment call here.
Well, either way, it's Patterson's second foul, so that's a key player right now for the Spartans in foul trouble. And if there's anything more tacked on here, it's really going to force their bench to continue to play well.
Yeah, and how do you determine intent here? I mean, it's very difficult to say. It's really a judgment call, and right now one of the officials is talking with Matt Capel, trying to explain what they're looking at. And they are calling a flagrant, huh?
So flagrant 1 on Patterson, so that's going to be a third foul for him.
And it's going to be free throws and possession for Southern New Hampshire.
So potentially another turning point in this ball game. We've already seen the teams exchange 10-0 runs. Southern New Hampshire hoping that this will be another swing of the pendulum in their favor.
And this is something that we wouldn't see in a regular season game. Most games do not have monitors at the Division II level, but because this is a highly scrutinized situation, they were able to get a good look at that infraction.
Derek Grant to shoot the freebies. Only 54% from the line this year, so an interesting choice. Or because it's a flagrant, he has to be the one to shoot.
Right.
Okay. But makes them both. First points of the day for the sophomore out of Plainfield, New Jersey. Comes from a great basketball playing family. His sister, a couple of D1 stops, Clemson and St. John's. However, the pause also allows St. Thomas Aquinas to set up their press again.
And you have to be aggressive to beat that pressure. You got to be careful with your passes, but you also have to really take it to St. Thomas Aquinas because they thrive on your hesitancy.
Indecision is the worst decision against pressure. Here's Becht. 10 points early. Jamison pawing at the ball. Drew the switch in Risquez. Now a step back 3, rattles home. Guess who? Noah Kamba.
Boy, he's been the X factor for the Penmen today. 9 off the bench on 3 trays.
Only averaged 6 points per game throughout this season, and he has lit it up from deep here in the first half. Jamison from 3. Too strong. Rebound tipped, secured by Aquosa. 7 points matches the largest lead of the game for Southern New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's a 13-3 run for the Penmen since they went down by 3.
Aquosa worming his way to the baseline, spins it back out for Lehman. Becht tries a 3, short, doesn't get the bounce, and then Lehman is tripped, by Risquez.
The basketball goes flying over our heads into the stands.
That's unfortunately not a souvenir for somebody because they actually need that to keep playing.
Yes, they do. Game ball.
So the foul on Risquez, his first. That's the 5th team foul, and the Spartans allow Southern New Hampshire a fresh possession. Long inbound, corralled by Becht. Draws Tullius in the switch again. Crossover to the corner. Kamba looking for another triple maybe. Slips it inside off the shins of Lehman. Picked up by Jamison.
Bad low bounce entry that time, and it was an easy pick for Jamison.
Tullius swings it around. Barnes tried to fire it back inside. We got a whistle and a grab first. Ball went off the toe of Tullius and out, but he was grabbed by Aquosa first, so that'll be his first foul. 5th team foul on the Penmen.
Yeah, it was a nice backdoor cut designed on the play, but the hold kept it from happening.
Nice screen set here. Jamison in attack mode. Finds Barnes open. Three-pointer won't go, though. And the rebound ripped down by Lehman.
It's like Barnes is forcing up his threes a little bit today. I know he can shoot from just about anywhere on the court, but some of them are not in rhythm today early on.
Hit his first. He's missed his last 2. Penmen again a chance to extend their largest lead. Aquosa drives, hangs, missed the spinner. Rebound tipped away. Jamison wants to run, has numbers. Jamison to the rim, kicks to the corner. Vendola on the drive, swallowed up inside, out to Barnes. Kicks it back, Vendola open, drives and kicks. Jamison thought about it. He tries to slip it through, and it's stolen by Grant, and then he throws it away.
Boy, both teams, a lot of action, but not a lot of it is very good right there. Good ball movement by St. Thomas Aquinas. A lot of drives and dishes, but ultimately turned into a turnover, and then the Penmen give it right back.
Well, it looked like Spartans passed up maybe 2 or 3 open shots in that exchange. Pulliam and Smith are going to come right back onto the floor. They've had an impact coming off the bench today.
Yeah, the stacked bench has been very, very successful this year. They get quality minutes out of their reserves, and many of them have not played basketball until this very year.
Barnes hands it off. Pulliam, Jamison on the blow-by. Gets inside, reverses it up and in. There's that foot speed.
Yeah, just going to say that exactly, Ben. He's the first Spartan in double figures now with 10, matching Becht. And it's the quickness, and it's the change in speeds, too. It's the lull you to sleep and then burst of speed to the basket.
Well, once their run is over in March, you can go suit up for the track and field team.
Yes, you can.
Win you a few 100-meter dashes, I bet. Combo tied up in the corner. Becht in trouble, finds Combo, 4 to shoot, now 3. Combo got to make something happen. He drives and kicks, and time runs out.
Fantastic defense by the Spartans, and the Penmen never had good spacing on the floor. They had too much happening on the left arc, and by the time the drive happened, it was almost a fait accompli. There was going to be a shot clock violation.
Kamba had done so much well through the first half, but he just didn't have that shot clock in his head there.
Yeah.
Sam Cody comes back in to replace him.
It's been a real taffy pull. One team goes up by 7, and the other team comes roaring back.
Awkward looking shot. Smith comes up short, rebounded by Brathwaite. Now, this is something that Jack Perry really expected. He said, it's tournament play. There's going to be runs. It's all about how you respond. Becht double team, got it away. Brathwaite fires up a contested 3 and hits. Jordan Brathwaite from deep.
Yeah, he said a couple of triples already, and the Penmen are living on that three-point shot. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to bank on the rest of this game, because I'm not sure if they can keep it up at this pace.
Well, they're over 60%, 7 of 11 from 3. Floater off the window for Jamison. He's up to a dozen.
He's so good to watch in the open floor, and just if you give him any kind of space, he's going to exploit it, and he's going to either find somebody or he's going to take the shot himself, and he's often very accurate with it.
Cody hanging out near midcourt. Lehman wants it. Cody wants to drive. Off the reset, Lehman attacks. Brathwaite, crossover, lost the handle. It's loose, and it's fumbled out of bounds through the hands of Cody.
Give Barnes a lot of credit that time as he dived for that loose ball and knocked it free. So St. Thomas Aquinas with its defense, not just on the inbounds pressing, but also in the half court. They're very active and very aggressive and physical. And you can see that great play by Barnes forcing the havoc.
That is the 9th Southern New Hampshire turnover of the first half. St. Thomas Aquinas +7 in the turnover department. As we got 3:38 left to go. Timeout on the floor here. We'll keep it here. 34-28, the Southern New Hampshire lead. And as you noted, Chris, we've talked about it all this half. It's been an interesting swing of momentum's, big runs on both sides. And you're just wondering, is it now the Spartans' turn to sort of get on the roll a little bit?
And I think when you have these types of runs and counter runs, it's really kind of symptomatic of two teams that play different styles. Because once team gets its style going and into a rhythm, it's going to feed off of that and then get a run. And then the other team will counter with something it does best, like the three-point shooting for Southern New Hampshire, as opposed to the press and forced turnovers of St. Thomas Aquinas. And so you're going to get run, counter run.
Let's take a look at the resume for the St. Thomas Aquinas Spartans. The lone representative out of the East Coast Conference this year, as we talked about, they won the ECC Tournament Championship for the fourth straight season, dating all the way back to 2020, starting that run. 26-4, most wins of any team in the region this year. Matt Capel in his first year, the East Coast Conference Coach of the Year. And
they've won 7 of the last 8 ECC tournaments. Made it once as an at-large to the NCAAs in that stretch.
Right back in the NCAA tournament where they are accustomed to being. Only once did they win the regional, going to the Elite Eight. That was in 2017. But a lot of times they have been able to get out of this first round. They're not a lot of one and done. Vendola in and out on the three. Patterson back in the game, skied for that rebound. Vendola into the paint, tried to slip it down low. Green gathers, finds Vendola open, triple, short, rebound. Patterson put back up and in.
And Stack might have gotten away with a 3-second violation in the lane. Patterson was in that lane for a long time, and he obviously made him pay.
Penmen push against the press, get it up the floor quickly, and now settle into the offense.
Southern New Hampshire having a hard time finding driving lanes against this Stack defense.
Lehman crashes in, slips it down low. Tough catch inside there, and it's going to be stripped out by Jamison. Off to the races again. The lob, miss layup, follow is good, and the foul. Jordan Green with a chance for 3. And the run out by St. Thomas Aquinas yields fruit yet again.
It's death by 1,000 cuts on the offensive glass. Offensive rebound, second chance, third chance, and then it's the turnovers here with the great hustle by Jamison, who comes out of the scrum with the loose ball and then sets up his teammate. Pulliam misses the first one, but there's Green for the follow and the harm.
Big man from Maryland hits the freebie. He's got 5. And just like that, the lead is whittled down to 1 again.
And again, Stack not shooting at a high percentage, but they're a perfect 6 of 6 at the line. They're forcing turnovers, +8 in that category.
Here's another steal. Patterson, look out for the jam!
Southern New Hampshire, inability to hang on to the basketball is dooming them right now, and all of a sudden that 7-point lead is turned into a 1-point deficit.
Mean mugging. James Patterson back to the bench. Don't tell him he's a freshman.
I know, he does not play like one. An 11-3 spurt for the Spartans, and it's all predicated on their defense. It's led to all of these types of offensive breakouts.
Well, and how about the response from Patterson too, right? Gets 2 fouls in the first half, picks up a flagrant to boot, comes back after a little stint on the bench. Offensive rebound, put back, score, strip and score there to give St. Thomas Aquinas the lead.
Yep, and right now all the momentum is on the side of the lower-seeded Spartans. And again, in a 3-6 game, and pretty much now in college basketball, the seeds don't mean anything. All 8 teams that made this field, all 20-game winners, all exceptional programs having very strong years. The only team that won 20 games in the East region this year that did not make the field is Damon, and that took a last-minute decision by the NCAA National Committee to keep them out.
Came all the way down to the wire. Jamison nearly picked another. Guillory going to calm things down here. He's been on the bench for a while, playing with 2 fouls now. Jack Perry wants his best group on the floor. Kamba back out there as well. Lehman tried to hand it off, knocked away. Pulliam couldn't tightrope the sideline.
But almost another pick by the Spartans, and right now they're in the Penman's heads. Penman cannot hang on to the basketball, and they are not getting driving lanes to the basket, and they're not getting good looks for threes either. So St. Thomas Aquinas' defense really putting its stamp on the game at this stage before halftime.
Over 2.5 minutes scoreless for Southern New Hampshire. And it has coincided with a 9-0 run for the Spartans. Kamba the inbound in front of a horde of St. Thomas Aquinas fans who's made the trip. Becht, catch, fire, short, rebound kept alive, but Jamison will grab it.
Has he done anything in this game that, what hasn't he done in this game is what I mean?
I don't know, he almost hit a step back 3 there, but a little bit of a heat check and off the mark.
I mean, if St. Thomas Aquinas shoots anywhere near its seasonal average, of about 45%, they would be up by double figures right now.
Three-point shooting, meanwhile, has been above average for Southern New Hampshire. Guillory the drive, floater going to be short. Rebound tipped away by Jamison. He got knocked down by Guillory, and that's going to be his 3rd foul. Puts St. Thomas Aquinas in the bonus as well, so a double whammy.
And that's the risk you take when you put a player with 2 fouls back into the game. I know that Jack Perry was hoping that he could get some quality minutes without an extra foul, but Guillory's now in deep foul trouble, first player in the game, or for Southern New Hampshire. It is a 1-and-1. Jamison 3 of 3 from the line already today.
First one rattles through.
They've been perfect at the line, Spartans.
Jamison is a New England product, Dorchester, Massachusetts native.
And guess who his high school coach was? Former St. A's great Sean Ryan.
Well, able to stay within the region, I'm sure. Should the Spartans and Hawks end up meeting down the line in the regional, there will be quite the scouting report given.
Yes.
Spartans match their largest lead here at 37-34 as we enter the final minute of the first half. Grant hands it off to Becht.
He can't get a good look.
Kamba behind the back dribble, down to 7 on the shot clock, whips it across. Off balance 3, but it's good for Jackson Jordan.
He checked in when Guillory checked out. Jackson Jordan, a very good defensive player, not known for his shooting prowess, but a big 3 that time to knock the score. Jackson Jordan, the last player for the now old closed school Long Island LIU Post, and he's making an impact here.
How about that? Fresh off the bench, fresh into the game, and hitting a huge shot for Southern New Hampshire to tie it at 37.
One more thing about Jackson Jordan, people don't know this, that his father played for the Los Angeles Lakers, was on the 1982 championship team with Kareem and Magic, and he was also a Final Four participant with the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. So Eddie Jordan, the dad, passing on some of that great DNA to his son.
Well, that's where the NBA lineage comes from. Reality TV fans may be more familiar with Jackson Jordan's mother, who features on The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes.
Sharice Jordan.
Just south of here, and well, way south of here. But speaking of reality TV, James Patterson is also someone for St. Thomas Aquinas who has his own Netflix series, or he stars in it, or he's one of the participants in it, Swagger.
I saw plenty of swagger on that breakaway dunk from him earlier on.
Yes, living up to the name.
Just a quick review on the Jordan shot. It is a 3 he took off from behind the line as he was leaning in. It looked like he was just looking for contact and then hoping the shot would catch iron. Not only did it catch iron, but it went all the way through. Well, Penman should get another touch here. St. Thomas Aquinas will take this one down a little further towards the end of the half. Coming up before our halftime break, we'll have a chat with the leading coach. Jamison misses the floater.
If there is a leading coach.
Well, if not, we'll talk to Jack Perry. 5 seconds left. Combo wants a screen, gets it. Combo in the lane, kicks it out. Jordan fires again, doesn't get the bank, and that will do it for the first half. So despite big swings of momentum on both sides, we end up right back where we started, tied in the 3-6 matchup. Southern New Hampshire 37, St. Thomas Aquinas 37.
We had a 10-0 run answered by a 10-0 run, and we had a 13-3 run answered by a 13-3 run before that 3 by Jordan, not at the score at 37.
Now, big swings on either side. Southern New Hampshire shooting the lights out from 3. That press, though, from St. Thomas Aquinas, very effective. Southern New Hampshire's head coach Jack Perry standing by with our Nick Anastos.
Coach, tie game here at halftime. What'd you like in that first half?
Yeah, I thought at the beginning we did a good job of controlling the pace. We wanted to keep the game more in the 60s and 70s where they wanted in the 80s and 90s. And I thought we did a good job of handling their pressure. Once we went to some subs, we had some hiccups there against their pressure, and certainly that helped them. I think, again, some of the things that we need to be better at, we got to limit their second chance, and we got to keep them off the foul.
Coach, good luck second half.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Ben?
Thank you very much, Nick. So, Chris, obviously an exciting first half. Big runs. Ultimately, it's going to be about who can limit the other team from getting on those sort of extended runs.
Yeah, and I still think that right now Southern New Hampshire is kind of playing with house money. All those three-pointers, they're not a great three-point shooting team on the season, and I kind of wonder how they're going to score if they don't get the threes to fall. We'll see if that plays a factor into it. They also have to take better care of the basketball. Again, St. Thomas Aquinas defense is something that nobody in the NE10 sees. So St. Thomas Aquinas on their side, they've got to obviously do a better job defensively on the three-point shots of Southern New Hampshire. And if they shoot any bit better than they did in the first half, I think they're going to win this game.
It'll be interesting to see who emerges in the second half. We'll take a quick timeout. Be back with continuing coverage of the NCAA Division II Men's Basketball East Regional here from Manchester, New Hampshire, powered by Bridgewater TV. Welcome back here to Stoutenburg Gymnasium in Manchester, New Hampshire. St. Anselm College, host of the NCAA Division II East Regional, powered by Bridgewater Television. Alongside Chris Granozio, I'm Ben Alcher. All even, 37 apiece between Southern New Hampshire and St. Thomas Aquinas in the 3-6 matchup. Unbelievable first half, and you can see big swings on either side in the numbers.
And the number that stands out the most to me is the bottom one on your screen. Points off turnovers, stacked 17-0. That is out. That is definitely countered the 8 for 14 shooting performance from three-point range by the Penmen.
Well, they certainly got off to a good start from deep. Nick Anastos, the third member of our team, standing by with St. Thomas Aquinas head coach Matt Capel.
Coach, a game of runs in that first half. Your team trailed early, responded well. How you like where you are at halftime?
Well, it's a 0-0 ball game. I don't think anybody can complain about that. That's kind of what we've done all year is we've responded to runs. I mean, most of the games that we've been in, especially early on, we were down double digits and found a way to claw our way back and find a way to win. So hopefully we can do that again today.
What's the key to the second half?
Well, if they shoot 54% again, that's probably not in our favor. Credit to them, they've made the shots we've kind of wanted them to take, but they've stepped up and made them, and hopefully we get some misses and force some misses, and we're able to rebound and run.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nick. And Chris, this is something you sort of touched on at the end of the first half. You look at those two big sort of swing numbers, and you wonder which is more sustainable for another 20 minutes of basketball, Southern New Hampshire's three-point shooting or St. Thomas Aquinas' ability to continue to score and turn the basketball over.
Well, traditionally, Southern New Hampshire is not a team that shoots the three-pointer well. They did have a 17 three-point basket game against New Haven earlier this year, but I don't think they want to rely on that. They've got to focus on hanging onto the basketball, solving the pressure, getting good shots, and playing their style, their pace. St. Thomas Aquinas, on the other hand, I think because they dictate terms with that pressure, they are more likely to continue and sustain, and to use your word, that type of play.
We mentioned, talking about the Southern New Hampshire starting group, really no true point guard in that mix. We did see a lot more of Noah Kamba and Sam Cody throughout that first half. Do you expect that that will be an adjustment that Southern New Hampshire continues to try to make?
I think you nailed it. I think they will do it by committee. I think you'll see more Kamba and Cody ball handling. But again, if you're St. Thomas Aquinas and you had to pick a team in this field that you would want to play, it would be Southern New Hampshire for just that reason. They don't have a lot of experienced true ball handlers.
Meanwhile, the point guard on the other side, Devontae Jameson, just had a whale of a first half for the Spartans. Led them scoring 14 points, 4 of 9 shooting, 5 of 5 at the free throw line. Also had half of the team's 6 steals, and that's not to count how many other deflections and tie-ups and just sort of chaotic plays that he was involved in. He is just a one-man wrecking crew seemingly out there defensively for Stack.
Yeah, and he might be the smallest player in stature on the court, but he is certainly plays well above his status and his stature, and also he does a great job on rebounding too. I mean, he finished with 5 rebounds in that first half, which was most on the team, and that's amazing if your point guard can give you that kind of production.
It'll be St. Thomas Aquinas ball here to start the second half. Again, Spartans in the black, Southern New Hampshire in the white. Looks like it's back to the starting group for both sides. So Guillory out there to start the second half for the Penmen. He picked up a 3rd foul, remember, early on. Early lob. Jordan Green catches in deep, can't spin it up and in. Rebound tipped. Patterson got the last hand on it, and it will go out of bounds back over to the Penmen.
And what hustle by Patterson to come out of nowhere to knock that ball free. Just couldn't hang on as it drifted out of bounds, but he's like a cat out there pouncing on everything, as we see here. That looked like an easy back tap for Southern New Hampshire, and now they'll face the pressure again.
A little bit of a slow start for James Patterson. Did finish the first half with 8 points. Was key to that late first half run from St. Thomas Aquinas. Becht tried to slip it through. Brathwaite didn't get the read right. Eventually able to catch up to it. Whipped back around to Okwosa. Finds Lehman spinning. Turns to the hook shot. Green bothered that one. Brathwaite got it blocked. Shot clock violation, but a turnover either way. Patterson thought about the trail 3. Pulls up inside the arc. Jumper won't go. And Okwosa holds on to the board.
Good look by Patterson. Both these teams, though, a little bit tentative coming out of the locker room.
St. Thomas Aquinas shooting just 35% from the field, almost 10% below their season average. Spun inside, Okwosa powers it up and in, going over the smaller Jameson.
Well, he had the deep setup when he got the entry pass, and he had great position to turn and fire it off the glass and in.
And not much Jameson could do there. Here's Jamal Barnes. Fadeaway 2, short on the baseline. Barnes has yet to get himself going. He's really the 3rd member of that big scoring trio for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, he had 1-3 early on, but he's been seeking it, searching for it the rest of the way.
Guillory might have got away with a push-off. Step back 2 won't go. Rebound tip-tapped around. Saved into space. Vendola catches it and then trips over Lehman. That'll be a foul on Ryan Lehman.
Yeah, not voluntary, but in the wrong place at the wrong time. Good hustle on both sides, but interestingly enough, on that possession, once again, it was Okwosa posting up Jameson on the left blocks, and Guillory, instead of feeding him again, decided to take the 3, which was wide.
Let's see if that's a staple of the Penmen offense here in the second half, trying to attack Jameson in the low post. Jameson with it on the wing, circles it back up high for Green, handed back off. Jameson on the drive, swallowed up inside, kicks it back out Vendola. Pulls it back with 5 to shoot, Vendola running out of space. Vendola drives, tries to dump it into Green, and it's going to be a shot clock violation. Just not enough movement, not enough space there for Stack.
Well, we praised Stack for its great defense in the first half, forcing a shot clock violation. Well, give credit where credit is due. Southern New Hampshire is a pretty good defensive team itself, and right there, tremendous denial on every pass and drive.
Ball pressure again coming from the Spartans. Aquosa, boy, he threaded the needle there to Lehman, almost gave it away. Open in the corner, but out of bounds is Brathwaite.
And those are the types of turnovers that you really can't allow if you're Southern New Hampshire, and Jack Perry is not happy with that call there, thinking that he didn't step out of bounds. But you got to control your unforced turnovers, because you're going to get a lot of forced ones against this team.
Vendola, nifty little shake and bake, but gave it up. Patterson might have got away with an extra step, missed the layup anyway. Southern New Hampshire's done a little bit better job on the glass here to start the second half.
Yeah, no second chances really for St. Thomas Aquinas in the first 3 minutes.
Slow start to the second half. We're 3 minutes in. Only 2 points have been scored for the Penmen. Lehman dives in. Oh, good job using the right hand to navigate around Green.
Yeah, Green, who's the leading shot blocker on St. Thomas Aquinas, was trying to read that one, but Lehman was just a little quicker with the right.
Vendola gets to the cup, rejected by Brathwaite.
And a really nice rebound by Guillory in traffic.
Closa puts on the brakes over midcourt. Guillory wants the handoff, and Patterson trips him up. That's going to be 3 on Patterson.
And he's got an incredulous look on his face as he continues to get lifted by his teammates, but he was definitely he definitely fouled there. But yeah, you can see the look on his face, just not happy.
It's going to lead to an early exit for the ECC Rookie of the Year. Kyle Pulliam returns. Really only one player in foul trouble each way. Guillory with 3 for Southern New Hampshire. Patterson with 3. Aquosa wants 3 and gets 3. Hometown bounce, even though it's not his home gym.
Right. It is the hometown, though. Great screen set that time also by Lehman to give him the space.
Now there's another 3 for the Penmen. Jamison can't answer with a fadeaway 2. Here comes the early run again, and it's on the Penmen's side.
And the 7-point lead matching their largest. So once again, this is the cue for St. Thomas Aquinas to start a run, right?
We'll find out. Becht, deep 3, short. Lehman, oh, gets the roll. Timeout, St. Thomas Aquinas. 46-37, largest lead of the day for Southern New Hampshire. A 9-0 run to start the second half for the Penmen. Trying to get it done here in Manchester. We'll take a timeout.
We have so much to celebrate in Division II, but we're especially proud of our commitment to make a wish.
Division II student athletes have led a 10-year initiative to raise funds and help grant wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions.
Nearly $3 million have been raised, and hundreds of children's wishes have been granted. We play hard, we work hard, and we support others in need. Why? It's simple.
Because we care.
Well, Matt Becht's trying to key up another 3, but Ryan Lehman there with the follow. The big man getting the friendly roll on the tip. Southern New Hampshire, a 9-0 run here to start the second half. Let's kick it back over to our sideline reporter, Nick Anastos.
Well, Ben, there's a familiar face in the crowd and one very recognizable amongst Southern New Hampshire basketball fans. That, of course, is Stan Spiro. Coach enjoying the game with what looks like his grandkids over there. Of course, he retired now 5 years ago after racking up 640 wins, 8 trips to the Elite 8. Excuse me, 5. And, of course, a couple of Final Fours, including back in 1993. So, Coach Spiro, as we know, kind of a mainstay here in Manchester, coached at Manchester Central, as well as at Southern New Hampshire and New Hampshire College, as it was formerly known. So he's enjoying rooting on the Penmen right now in the crowd, Ben.
And Stan Spiro and his Penman teams, which you alluded to, Nick, from 93 to 95, won back-to-back-to-back regional championships, the last team in this region to have a three-peat.
Bentley hoping it can go back-to-back. It'll be the first time in 2 decades that a team goes back-to-back out of the timeout. Jamison breaks the ice for the Spartans in the second half. He's up to 16 now. Stan Spiro, of course, has the court over at Southern New Hampshire University named after him.
Yep, and his two grandsons who are in attendance today, their names are Bryce and Drew. And you can harken back to the Valparaiso. Yeah.
Jamison with good ball pressure on Aquosa. Lehman patient. Aquosa, deep three, wide right. Offensive rebound, though, for Guillory, and he's whacked.
And now, one of the things we're seeing during this 9-2 run to start the second half for Southern New Hampshire is they're not allowing second opportunities for St. Thomas Aquinas, and now they're getting second opportunities like this one and the Lehman putback that we had just before the break, and now we have another media timeout.
Yeah, that was the coaches called timeout to get us to the first break. Now we hit our first official media timeout at the under 16. 15:01 left to go in this one. St. Thomas Aquinas looking for another answer with Southern New Hampshire run. 46-39, the Penmen lead here from Manchester. Next matchup in the NCAA Division II East Regional. Welcome back here to Manchester along with Chris Granozio and our man on the sideline, Nick Anastos. I'm Ben Alcher. Penmen a 9-0 run here against St. Thomas Aquinas to start off the second half. Devontae Jamison finally getting the Spartans on the board recently, and well, you wonder if we're in store for another half of runs leading to a tight finish.
My bet would be on that, yes.
And that's what we're all hoping for, right? Good quality, close games.
Good basketball, yeah. Yesterday in the women's East Regional, 4 blowouts.
Lehman again, starting to find his room inside. Ryan Lehman up to 8 points for now for Southern New Hampshire.
Yeah, and 6 in the first 5+ minutes of this second half, so he's finding his offense.
Vendola to Risquez, backing down on Lehman. Risquez gives it up. Barnes fakes the three. Back inside. Risquez spins it up and off.
Risquez loves that baby hook. And that time it's just a little short for him. He's only taken 2 shots in this game, and I think he's a guy that really should get more shot attempts up.
Averaged 9 points per game off the bench this year. Really good production for the man from Venezuela, but he's been silent today. Lehman throws it down.
Beautiful feed that time by Beck to get it to him, and first double-digit lead of the game.
Risquez double team, kick out. Vendola swings. Barnes, Jamison looking for options. Jamison calls his own number and hits. Devontae Jamison just trying to keep the Spartans afloat right now.
When you need a basket, he's your guy. I mean, Patterson gets all the glory with Freshman of the Year honors, but Devontae Jamison is the heart and soul of this ball club, and you can see it right now with the season on the line.
First double-digit lead quickly wiped back down to 9. And the Penmen have momentum on their side right now. Becht for 3. Short. Rebound. Tried to tip it, and Jamison read the tip and took it away, and then draws a blocking foul on Becht. Boy, how quick is Devontae Jamison?
Yeah, we're witnessing it here live, and I'm sure it isn't even captured properly on video if you're watching at home. It is just amazing to watch how he, as you said, read the tip beautifully, intercepted it, and then was able to navigate up the sideline and get the bump by Becht, who has to leave the game.
Lehman checks out as well, gets a nice hand going to the bench.
Well, Lehman was tremendous here in this half, 8 of his 10 points.
8 of the 13 in the half for Southern New Hampshire. Jamison has all the Spartans' points this half. He gets tied up inside, lost it, tied up on the floor. Possession arrow will give it back over to Southern New Hampshire, though.
Yeah, Guillory with a great job hustling, diving for that loose ball after Jamison fumbled it uncharacteristically and lost it.
And right now, the calculated gamble from Jack Perry is paying off. Guillory has not picked up a 4th foul, and he's played the entire second half so far. Spartans will set up the press again. Southern New Hampshire's done a better job taking care of the basketball, though. They've only turned it over once so far in the second half. Over midcourt, Guillory finds Aquosa to the rim for 2 more.
And that's how you beat the pressure. Smart passes, up court, you're going to have numbers, and Aquosa with the athletic move to the basket, glided to the goal and scored.
Well, Guillory looked like he was just going to sit on it and found Aquosa streaking down the other side. Pulliam the spin and the floater for 2. First bucket for Kyle Pulliam.
Yeah, and that is the only the second bench basket for St. Thomas Aquinas. They usually average about 20.
Kamba back out there. Waits for Jameson to catch up to him. Hands it to Oposa across midcourt. Again, no trouble with the press that time for Southern New Hampshire. Adjustments paying off for the Penmen in the second half. Grant swings. Kamba for three. Yes!
Noah Kamba has really been a big boost off the bench for Jack Perry's club today. 4 trifectas, and his 12 points are the difference in the game.
Kamba still hot from the first half. Penmen with their largest lead up by a dozen. This is a real test moment for St. Thomas Aquinas. Tolius, tough shot, won't go. Rebound, out of bounds, off Tolius.
Good hustle for the Greek native whose father played for the Greek national team, but unable to put it down. And right now, all the momentum in favor of the home team, not playing on their home floor, but still the hometown favorites here from the Queen City, Southern New Hampshire.
55-43 the scores. We get to the under 12 media timeout. We'll keep it right here. Well, it has been a terrific second half for Southern New Hampshire. Chris, we went into this half talking about which was going to be more sustainable, the three-point shooting for Southern New Hampshire or the defensive pressure leading to scoring for St. Thomas Aquinas. And maybe, oddly enough, it's the shooting for the Penmen.
Yeah, and they haven't shot it at a high rate here in the second half. I mean, they're hitting a couple of shots, but for the most part, they're not turning it over like they did in the first half. 12 turnovers in the first period, and many of them led to points. 17 for St. Thomas Aquinas. And here, Stack is not benefiting from that, and they're not shooting at a good clip.
Winner of this game will meet the winner of our next game. It's the 2-7 matchup. Bentley, the 2 seed. One of the odds-on favorites throughout much of the season, but not getting the opportunity to host the regional for a second straight year, so the Falcons have to make the trip up here to Manchester. Fortunately for them, it's a short drive from Waltham, Massachusetts, and they'll be taking on the 7th-seeded Dominican Chargers. Joe Clinton, the longtime head coach, back in the tournament for a 5th straight season, but Dominican only has one NCAA win. Oddly enough, it came on this floor back in 2019.
Yes, it did, and they lost a heartbreaker in their second game. In fact, their first NCAA tournament win was the last Division II game Merrimack ever played. And Merrimack went to Division I, and they are thriving in the Northeast Conference, winners of the regular season title this year.
And the tournament title as well. Still not eligible for the NCAA auto bid, though, because they're still under the transition. We'll have a manifesto on that sometime later. Tobin Anderson, the former St. Thomas Aquinas coach, the beneficiary of that, as they end up getting the auto bid. Counted in the foul, Jordan Brathwaite. Everything going Southern New Hampshire's way right now.
Yeah, Brathwaite with a tremendous follow, and one of the rare times that St. Thomas Aquinas missed a loose ball. They're usually on top of those, but this time it came to Brathwaite, and he was able to finish, and the defender was not in position and fouled him.
And it's a double whammy because it was Patterson who fouled him, and it's his 4th foul. So just after being reinserted, ECC Rookie of the Year has got to head right back to the bench.
Yeah, that is a very tough break for St. Thomas Aquinas. But with 11:34 to go in the game, I figure he'll probably sit about 5 minutes. He'll be back in there for crunch time. And for St. Thomas Aquinas, they can only hope that it's more of a ball game than it is right now.
Brathwaite converts the end one. Jamison tries for 3. It's short. Long rebound to the corner. Beck's going to let it roll out of bounds.
Yep, arms out, extended like an airplane, just saying, going to watch this and gain possession.
Kyle Pulliam back on the floor. So interesting group right now for Matt Capel. You've got Jamison, Vendola, Tilius, Risquez, and Pulliam.
Yeah, a lot of reserves out there for them. And Southern New Hampshire on a 21-6 run to start the second half.
Right now feels like the Spartans are just sort of searching for who can get some rhythm on offense. Brathwaite on the reverse, spins another one in.
Beautiful feed in the short corner, and Brathwaite using that rim again to protect the shot. And now it's up to a 17-point bulge.
Quick 3, Pulliam well off the mark. Grant with a rebound. No second chance opportunities, no points off turnovers for the Spartans right now in the second half, and all of a sudden the offense is dried up.
Yeah, the recipe that was working so well in the first half is not there in the second.
Now a foul called as well on the baseline. It's going to be against Risquez. That is his 3rd. 4th team foul on the Spartans.
Yeah, and the bigs for St. Thomas Aquinas in major foul trouble now. 7 fouls between Patterson and Risquez.
Combo with the inbound. Becht lines up a three and rattles it home. First bucket of the half for Becht. He's got 13. Penmen by 20.
Yeah, who saw this coming?
Jamison thought about it, didn't pull the trigger on the corner three. Talius stepped out of bounds.
Unforced error for the Spartans, who just can't get anything going on the offensive or defensive end right now. Matt Becht on that last three. Again, his first three since early in the game when he had a quick 10 points. But if he could hit shots like that, the Penmen are going to roll in this one. They're already starting, but a lot of time left.
Guillory able to sprint across midcourt. Guillory hands it off. Braithwaite missed on the hammer, and it comes back the other way.
That would have brought the Penman side of this house down to its feet.
Vendola left open, doesn't get the three. Rebound tipped right into the hands of Guillory.
It's one and done, and it's mostly jump shots for St. Thomas Aquinas right now, and they're not finding the range at all.
Kamba shake and bake, keeping it away from Jamison. Becht drives by, pulls up over Pulliam and hits. Two quick buckets for Becht. And the Penmen open up a 22-point edge.
Yeah, it's now a 28-6 run to start the second half, and it's taken up the majority of the half.
I wonder if that's a survivable run for St. Thomas Aquinas. Jamison almost gave it away. Talius fakes the three, hands it back off. Jamison from deep, that one won't go. And a rebound foul on Talius from behind. That is number 5 on St. Thomas Aquinas. Talius is first.
Yeah, and again, Southern New Hampshire's defense has been fantastic. They are not allowing dribble penetration by Jamison here in the second half. They are settling for jump shots, and they are not falling, and it is just becoming a snowball effect for the Penmen against the Spartans.
Southern New Hampshire shooting 57% for the game, 60% in the second half.
We didn't think that they could sustain it, and they've actually expanded on that percentage in the second half.
Well, they have done an excellent, excellent job taking care of the basketball here in the second half.
Yeah, one turnover, and it wasn't against the press.
Guillory has Vendola in front of him. Likes the matchup, gets a screen from Grant. Now moves it to Lehman. Lehman looks to attack. Backing in on Risquez, kicks it back out. Grant with 5 to shoot, drives into Pulliam, and that's going to be an offensive foul.
And a rare turnover here in the second half for Southern New Hampshire. It was a sin of aggressiveness, but still a turnover. But with 9:01 to go, yes, St. Thomas Aquinas is a high-scoring, high-throttle energy offensive team, but you kind of wonder, against a quality team like the Penmen, do they have a major run in their hip pocket? Not sure.
Well, they're going to need one, and it's going to have to start sooner rather than later. Jamison's really been the only consistent offensive threat throughout the ball game. Gets the handoff from Talius here. Jamison looks to drive. Guillory stays in front. Handoff Vendola. Vendola, tough step back three is good. Well, maybe that's the shot that ignites it. They're going to say his foot was on the line. So it's a 2 for Vendola. St. Thomas Aquinas doesn't have the option to be picky at this moment.
Got to take what's there, and it all starts, every long journey starts with one step, and the Spartans hoping that that's the first step in a comeback.
Capel spurring his team on, hoping to get a stop here. Becht lost the ball, but a foul is going to be called. Vendola a little over-aggressive on the reach-in. That's going to be number 2, 16th foul. Next one will put Southern New Hampshire in the bonus.
Closa checks back in for Guillory, who, to his credit, has played the majority of this half without getting that 4th foul.
Meanwhile, his opposite number, James Patterson on the other side, could not stay out of foul trouble. Lehman lost the handle. Jamison picks his pocket, lobs it up ahead. Vendola can't reel it in.
It was a great pass, but Vendola was not tall enough to receive it. As you can see the lead there, and yeah, actually I take it back, it was not a great pass. And now it's ironic that St. Thomas Aquinas is speeding things up to try to get good shots, and that's what they normally do to other teams.
Jamal Barnes comes back in for Vendola. They could use a Barnes hot streak right about now.
Barnes has been silenced. Done a nice job on him.
Nearly knocked away in the backcourt. Kamba in trouble, able to outlet it to Grant. Back to Lehman, and the Penmen will settle things down. Jack Perry telling his team, slow down. Back to the baseline. Has Barnes in front of him, whipped across. Kamba to Aquosa, tries a three, Air ball. Barnes wants to run. Barnes, quick crossover. Jamison, extra pass. Three-pointer. Yes! Talius knocks it down. A three from downtown Greece. And a timeout taken. 7:34 to go. That'll get us to the media timeout as well. St. Thomas Aquinas trying to throw one last Hail Mary to get back in this ball game. It is Southern New Hampshire in front, 65-48 here in Manchester. Welcome back here to coverage of the NCAA Division II East Regional from St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire. Alongside Chris Granozio and Nick Anastos, I'm Ben Alcher. Coverage powered by our friends at Bridgewater TV all weekend long. First of 4 games today. 3-seed Southern New Hampshire in front of 6-seed St. Thomas Aquinas, 65-48. Penman lead was as large as 22. And a little mini 5-0 run by the Spartans. Chris has them hoping they can put something bigger together.
Yeah, the only thing that would give you pause if you're a Stack fan, and that is the 5 points came on jump shots, and that's all they're getting here in the second half.
Just 11 points for St. Thomas Aquinas since the start of the second half. They've really struggled offensively, shooting below 30% from the field. And they've not gotten the benefit of the Penmen turning the basketball over like they did earlier.
Great adjustments by Jack Perry and his coaching staff and the players for actually getting it done here in the second period.
Beck surrounded by Jamison. Foul will be called. That's going to be number 7. So Beck will go to the line for 1 and 1, and he's the last person you want to see shooting free throws.
One of the best in the country percentage-wise.
91%, best in the Northeast 10.
And he's 93% for his career, I believe. Last I checked.
Scoring for Beck really didn't change all that much from his first season with Southern New Hampshire last year to this year. What have you seen in terms of just the difference in his game that has taken him to sort of this all-conference, all-region type player?
Well, in the games that I've seen them play about 5 times this year before today, and I see a confidence while being heavily defended. They're focusing on him more this year, I think, than they did last year, and he's still, as he gets the steal here, he still is able to put it up and be confident that it's going to go in, and it has been.
Well, a rare free throw miss, but he gets the steal on the other end.
He's also better at the sidestep 3 before being more of a catch-and-shoot 3-point shooter.
Beck behind the Lehman screen, shakes Vendola, keeps the dribble alive. Backdoor cut, tipped out of bounds. Will stay with the Penman as Talius got a hand on it. 8 seconds left to shoot.
Yeah, Tullius that time was read the play well, almost got the steal as it was an underthrown bounce pass.
At what point do you consider bringing James Patterson back if you're Matt?
I would think I said about the 6-7 minute or 5-6 minute mark. I think you got to bring him back now.
Off the screen, Beck drills another. 18 points, leading scorer for Southern New Hampshire. The lead back up to 20.
Might be academic with the way Beck has been scoring. I don't know what the points per possession are in this period for Southern New Hampshire, but it's a very high percentage. They're scoring almost every play.
Talius going to get himself to the free throw line. 4th foul on the Penmen, 2nd on Ryan Lehman. It was the spark plug at the beginning of the half, and Beck has taken over since.
Now, St. Thomas Aquinas on the season allows just 30% shooting from 3-point range. Now, granted, they're not in a very strong conference, and you get a lot of players there that aren't quite the shooters that we see in the Northeast 10, but still, their defense on the perimeter is always strong. And in this game, Southern New Hampshire has exploited it and actually shredded it.
52% from deep for the Penmen. That's well above their season average as well. Southern New Hampshire is a team 36% from behind the arc on the year.
But they've been getting some open looks today, especially early in the game. It kind of gave them that first lead.
Tullius makes 1 of 2. Here comes Patterson to replace him. So last stand time, it looks like here for the Spartans, down by 19 with 6:27 to go. They're going to need to ratchet up that pressure and start to generate some chaos on the defensive end. Nice tandem work there by Kamba and Aquosa to break the press. Kamba beats his man, gets all the way in, but blew the layup. Patterson had to let him go. He couldn't commit that 5th foul.
Penman have missed a couple of chippies in this period.
Patterson attacks, gets to the line. That's number 4 on Guillory.
Stops the clock, most importantly, at 6:01. Chip away a couple more points if you can get Patterson to knock him down. And that last miss by Tullius at the line was the first free throw miss for the Spartans in this game. Patterson has been pretty much stuck on 8 points since the midway mark of the first half. And the foul trouble is certainly a major reason why.
Yeah, picked up that 3rd foul very early in the second half, and then a 4th not long after.
Misses that one, but he's also an entrepreneur, not only an actor in his Netflix series Swagger, but also has a hip-hop album out. Has created his own record label. So a freshman in college, and he's already a businessman. How about that?
He's not just a businessman, he's a business man.
That's true.
Patterson knocks down 1 of 2.
Spartans still with only 1 player in double-figure scoring, and they average 4, and most days get 5 and 6 in the double-figure column.
You'd have to think at this point their only way back is with some cooperation from the Penmen.
Yep.
Under 6 minutes to go. The lead is 18. Aquosa, Guillory spins, dishes, Lehman crashing through for 2 more.
The stacked bench wanted a travel on that play, but the officials let Lehman go in for his 10th point in the second half.
Lehman with a rejection on the other end. Quick kick out to Aquosa. The bench loved that one.
Lehman is not a true athlete necessarily. I mean, he's an athletic player, but he's not a guy that you really circle on your scouting report. But he is a veteran presence on this team. It's his last year playing college ball, and he is really giving it his all out there and utilizing all his talents.
He's been all around the college circuit. Beck drills another 3.
And that's the dagger, I think.
21 for Matt Becht. That may mean blackjack for Southern New Hampshire. Patterson misses on the crash, got his own miss, lost it back over to Aquosa, and now the Penmen are going to sit on it.
How many second chances has Stack had in this second half? Maybe 1? It's 1 and done every trip.
Becht again, dagger!
A shooter in the zone, and that is going to pretty much end this one. Hard to believe this was a tie game at halftime because Southern New Hampshire is rolling. It is crush time here in their hometown.
Well, it has been a totally different second half. Penmen have taken care of the basketball. They've rebounded the basketball, and Matt Becht is lighting the nets on fire.
And we talked about sustainability at halftime. The Penmen have sustained that 3-point shooting excellence, mostly because of Matt Becht.
Timeout taken by St. Thomas Aquinas. Well, if this is indeed it for the Spartans, it's still going to be a terrific first year for Matt Capel.
No doubt.
26 wins, most in the region, another ECC championship, and it feels like, with pretty much all of these players coming back, that the core is in place for sustained success, and this run will continue down the road for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Without a doubt, they have all the pieces. They're still a very young team. 12 players on the roster, 6 are freshmen. I know this is the era of the transfer portal, so maybe not everybody stays. But if you can bring most of these guys back, you'd have to like their chances. They and Damon would be the front runners, I think, in the preseason poll in the East Coast Conference next year. Points off turnovers. At halftime, we talked about it being a major factor for Stack being in the game, tied. It was 17-0 in points off turnovers. This period, 2-2. And that is why the Penmen have been able to build this huge lead.
And only 9 second chance points for St. Thomas Aquinas. Barnes finally gets another 3 to rattle home.
His 97th three-pointer of the season. That's 6th most in all of Division II.
Long pass over the head of Becht out of bounds. So, at least for the moment, St. Thomas Aquinas getting what it needs.
Yeah, but it's probably too late with 4:11 to go. If this were to happen and Stack were to come back and win this game, it would be the greatest comeback in this region's history from 26 down. Barnes looking for space.
Tries another and gets the roll. 2 straight threes for Jamal Barnes. St. Thomas Aquinas says, don't bury us yet. Still a 20-point game.
Penman need to take care of the basketball.
Patterson goes down as Combat gets across midcourt.
That was a risky play by Patterson because if that had been called the other way, he would have been out of the game, disqualified.
Tough pull-up, Aquosa, but he gets the roll. And with each successive basket, the air comes out of the St. Thomas Aquinas balloon a little more.
Aquosa's had a very steady game today. I'm very happy with the way he's played offensively and defensively.
Barnes, quick trigger. Doesn't get that one. Patterson can't keep it alive. Guillory out-wrestled him for it.
Yeah, good offensive or defensive board work on the weak side by Guillory, using his strength. Might not be the tallest player out there, but he's very, very physical.
Jack Perry feels confident enough about it. He's sending the bench to the table here. Going to try to buy his starters just an extra little minute of rest, which in a regional sometimes can be all the difference in the world. Another turnover will lead to the changes. Jackson Jordan comes in along with Colin McAdams. Royce Williams, another local product, freshman from Manchester, New Hampshire. Brendan Choate, a sophomore from nearby Nashua, New Hampshire as well, and we'll reset the Penmen lineup after this timeout. 2:51 to go in this one, our final media timeout. Southern New Hampshire all over St. Thomas Aquinas, 78-56. And Chris, you just have to marvel at what the Penmen have put together in this second half.
It's been a clinic on how to handle the press and how to defend. St. Thomas Aquinas has not been effective on either end of the floor. And I kind of wonder if part of this is because of so many new players for St. Thomas Aquinas. Devontae Jameson is really the true veteran, he and Vendola on this in this program. Jameson has done his part with 18 points and all over the stat sheet in multiple categories, but no one else has come up and been that number 2 guy from a scoring standpoint or even just making any kind of impact on the game. Patterson was in foul trouble, and he's struggled with 9 points, and it's his first NCAA tournament game. I expect him to be right back here next year if he stays with the program. He's going to remember this, and it's going to be something he can build on.
Meanwhile, Becht has obviously taken the lead role again for Southern New Hampshire with 24 points, but you've got 3 other players in double figures for the Penmen, including 4 big threes from Noah Kamba off the bench.
Off the bench, yes. He's been the facilitator for them. 12 points and kept them going in the first half when they weren't getting much offensively and turning it over a lot.
Jameson on the drive, spins around Jordan. He'll go to the line for 2. Couldn't get the shot to roll through. Foul on Jackson Jordan is his first.
And once again, using the speed, pounding the dribble around the defender and getting into the paint. And he knew that even as he was putting up that tough reverse that there was contact and he would get to the line. And he's been to the line a ton this year. His 141st attempt of the season.
Jack Perry almost fully emptying the bench. He does keep Aquosa out there, presumably to help deal with the pressure. Jameson ends up missing both free throws. Rebound tipped, ends up being corralled by Patterson. He goes right to the cup, and will go to the free throw line as well.
Yep, he leaned in and got the contact.
Foul on Choate.
Patterson, despite the foul trouble and not having a great offensive day today, he continues to hustle. He goes after loose balls. He finds spots on the floor where he knows the ball is going to be, and he tracks it as he did just there. Well, here in the second half, the Spartans have missed 5 free throws after not missing in the first period. But it's all going to be pretty much for naught. And 1 out of 2, and second player in double figures now for the Spartans as Patterson has 10.
And again, you figure they needed that a little bit earlier on. Foul trouble for Patterson certainly played a huge role, as Williams just has to fire it into the body of Jameson, who can't keep his feet in bounds.
Again, if you get it into the corner on an inbounds play against Stack, you're really asking for trouble. It's hard to get it out of there. Better to keep it in the center of the floor if you can. Hard to do, easy to say.
And men push it. Williams back to Aquosa. And he'll slow it down again. Down to 8 to shoot. Williams again with the dribble. Crossover, drives at Barnes, runs into a double team, and it'll be a shot clock violation. Good help from Patterson that time.
And not the worst thing in the world to have a shot clock violation. At this point, the clock is your ally.
St. Thomas Aquinas going to empty the bench as well. Barnes, Jamison, Mendola all come off. Mendola, the senior among the group, gets a big hug from Matt Capel. Ethan Milliron's out there now, along with Tullius. Patterson stays on the floor. Pulliam comes back in. And
told me the
Lawrence
coach
Foreman out there as well.
Yeah, so yes. Okay. Number 3.
Milliron's almost got caught midair without a plan. Pulliam finds a shot out of traffic. Patterson again crashing the boards. Gets 2 more.
Well, Patterson ending the game with a bit of a flourish.
Williams gets it into Jordan. Return feed. Williams will sprint it across midcourt. Quick driving kick tipped out into the hands of Choate. Fumbled it away. Tullius on the lead out. Patterson, does he have one more highlight? Well, good finish. He wanted the slam. He'll have to settle for the layup. So Spartans will whittle away at the deficit here, but that beginning first 10 minutes of the second half, Southern New Hampshire was able to get buckets at will, and they just put a chokehold on St. Thomas Aquinas on the other end of the floor.
Scored 28 of the first 34 points of the second half, and it was all she wrote.
Out of bounds. Back over to the Spartans. Green will return. Patterson will get a nice hand coming out here. Spartans will wrap up the year 26-5, another East Coast Conference championship, and once again they'll be looking to re-enter the conversation next year. They're one of the 3 ranked teams in the regional, coming in 19, which is the highest team in the regional in the coaches poll, 24th in the media poll.
Yeah, I mean, coaches polls are always fun to talk about. Don't really mean a lot. It's more the regional rankings, but yeah, I mean, they've been a perennial regionally ranked or nationally ranked team in the NABC and D2 SIDA.
A 3-pointer off the mark, and Williams again will slow it down for Southern New Hampshire.
Another interesting tidbit is that Stack will be 0-2 in neutral court games this year, and they only had 3 other losses on the campaign.
Big block by Tullius. Millirons will knock down a 3.
He gets his first NCAA tournament basket. Final score is going to be a little misleading, as it'll be a somewhat respectable final. But this was all Southern New Hampshire after halftime.
Tie ball game at half. Penman lead got as big as 26. The final will be a 14-point separation. And the NE10 regular season champs are moving on to Sunday. 3 seed Southern New Hampshire takes down 6 seed St. Thomas Aquinas 78-64.
Yeah, 14-2 run to end the game for St. Thomas Aquinas. Didn't even really dent the scoreboard, but something to build upon for next year. And Spartans, again, can't take anything away from them. They were fantastic this season, 26-5 regular season or final record. But again, it's Southern New Hampshire. Really, after that long stretch of 10 days off between games, scoring 42 in their last one, 78 today, almost double the amount they scored in the semifinals of the NE10 tournament.
So after a couple years outside of the NCAAs, the Penmen make their return and do so with a tremendous second half effort, as Matt Becht leads the way with 24 points, one of 4 Penmen players in double figures. Brathwaite had 11, Kamba a dozen, Lehman 10 of his 12 in the second half to help buoy the effort. And Nick Anastos is standing by with Matt Becht.
Seems like the jump shot was working tonight.
Yeah, we definitely got it going. My teammates definitely got me going for sure. Just getting to my spots and knocking them down, thankfully.
Anything in particular or different you did, or is just one of those nights where it came naturally?
I would say their coverages kind of helped me out. They were kind of like sagging off of me sometimes, and then when they came up, I kind of knew I could get my shots up. But my teammates really got me going, in that first half, and then I picked it up in the second half. So just a good day.
What was the key to that big run to start the second half?
man, we just wanted to come out, take care of the ball, and play at our pace, you know, because we like to, like, walk the ball up, and they really wanted to speed us up. So for that first half, we really got sped up a little too much. But the second half, especially to start out, you know, we might I don't know what the run was, but, you know, we kept it going, and we just slowed it down and just took our time with our offense. So
congratulations.
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nick. And Jack Perry will make his way over. Big day for Beck, 9 of 15 from the floor, 24 points. And Jack Perry now with Nick.
Coach, what was the key to that run to begin the second half?
Yeah, I think, again, we took care of the basketball. We slowed ourselves down. We did a good job executing. When we turned the ball over 12 times in the first half, it was all because we were trying to do too much one-on-one. I think we executed way better on the offensive end, and we got a lot of stops on the defensive end. When we get stops, then they can't press, right? So now we can run some of our sets, and I think we got better shots in.
Take me through the next 24 or so hours before you get ready for the next round.
Obviously, our guys played a lot of minutes, so and playing in this kind of environment where there's a lot of pressing, we're going to have to really, really do a good job of trying to rest, and now it's going to be about prep. Obviously, if it's Bentley, we know exactly what they are. If it's Dominican, we've played them as well, right? So again, it's two teams that we are familiar with, but it'll be a lot of preparation right now, a lot of film, and obviously watching this game to see who we play.
Coach, congratulations. Thank you. Ben?
Thank you very much, Nick. Chris, again, the story really that second half and how it started for Southern New Hampshire, just a dominant performance, and that's what gets the Penmen through to the second round.
Jack Perry said it better than I can say it. They took care of the basketball. They got stops, and because they got stops, they were able to run their own offense and get better shots. And that all just kind of built and built and built, and before you knew it, it was a runaway for the locomotive known as Southern New Hampshire.
One game in the books, 3 games left to go. Southern New Hampshire, the first team to punch its ticket to the second round of the NCAA tournament, a 78-64 victory over St. Thomas Aquinas. For Nick Anastos and my broadcast partner Chris Granozio, I'm Ben Alcher, saying come back at 2:30 for the start of 2-seed Bentley and 7-seed Dominican. You can also tune in to the post-game press conferences for Southern New Hampshire and St. Thomas Aquinas live here at StAnsomHawks.tv. For our friends with Bridgewater TV Production, I'm Ben Alcher. Again, the final, Southern New Hampshire advances, beating St. Thomas Aquinas 78-64. Continuing coverage of the NCAA Division II East Regional here from Manchester at 2:30 with Bentley and Dominican next.